Welcome to the UGC lecture series in computer science. In this series of lectures, we will be looking at the subject database management system. And for today, I will be highlighting the basic concepts relating to database management system. To start with, let us generally go with the hierarchy of database. Initially, all the records are stored as facts. From the facts, we start deriving on data, which we say it as processed facts are nothing but data, and all the processed facts are then converted into information, and this information after a small process provides knowledge, and a very good knowledge gives you a complete wisdom. So, we look at the hierarchy something like this, but let me put it as with a small example. Facts, raw facts, nothing but I provide different numbers here 0, 1, 2, 3 numericals, numbers as the raw facts. But when I present all these raw facts, this becomes a data, and if suppose I am to process on this data, I just segregate all this data and I say that this becomes information. So, the information hidden within this particular data is 044 represents the STD code of a particular country, 2235 refers to the area code of a particular place, and 8570 is your unique ID. So, after processing this data, this is being transformed into information. This information is then converted into a good set of knowledge, having mentioned the area code, STD code and the unique identification number. To a particular group of users, it gives a complete wisdom. So, now that we start explaining about the concept of database. In 2008, Wikipedia has come out with a small definition for database, which is nothing but a structured collection of records or a data, which explains something about this. A database is organized, machine readable collection of symbols. We say organized machine readable collection of symbols to be interpreted as a true account of some enterprise. So, what sort of enterprise require all these organized set of data? Today, we are exposed to multiple applications starting from rail ticket reservation, banking applications and so. For every day's transaction in case of a banking application, this banking application gives us day wise debit and credit statements, and it is in an organized format. So, we call this type of system as a database system, which is machine interpretable, machine readable collection of symbols. To continue with it, this can even be updated. It is not only readable, it can be updated. So, it is also a component of a database, where I say a database is machine updatable too, which means in the previous definition I have given a statement called machine readable, where I read the credit and debit statements. Now that we wish to transfer some account or some amount to different accounts, then it should be updatable also, and is a collection of variables. We will look at what are those variables in detail. A database is typically available to different community of users. So, there are different groups of users who will be using this database. Few are called as database administrators, and few are called as database application programmers, and few are the generalized users with possibly varying requirements. So, for database administrators, there will be a different set of requirements. For programmers, there might be a different set of requirements, and for users, they typically wanted to use what has been developed as a software. So, we concentrate on different components of users. Some of the major application areas pertaining to database include supermarket application where we purchase a lot of items, and for today we have online supermarket where a list of items are been given along with its quantity and price. So, all these values are entered into database. A particular customer logs in, or after having given a login and a password, then that particular customer's account is completely maintained and his transaction is being taken care. Likewise, purchases using credit card also becomes one application of a database. Likewise, for travel agency, we can book holidays, the entire travel as a package can be handled with database. Something with relevant to the local library, where all the books pertaining to a library is being maintained. Insurance application, renting a video, internet, studying at an university, where all the e-content materials like what we are doing right now can all be stored as a database. So, these are some of the applications majorly talked about when we are studying about databases. So, now that we are continuing with this database, E.F. Codd, who has basically derived on the principle behind why a database is needed. So, E.F. Codd first published the concept of a relational database management system. It was later in 1980s. So, it was between 1970s and 1980s, E.F. Codd has come out with a concept of relational database. We will say what relation actually mean. So, somewhere in the late 1970s and the early 1980s, E.F. Codd derived on the necessity of all these relational concepts towards these database systems, and he sought the approach that would satisfy a wide range of users. As I have talked about, administrators, programmers, users, and within the users we have different users who are to be given utmost concentration, and their requirements also might vary. So, for them we have to give them a complete satisfactory application which a database can provide. Now, we will talk more about the variables that I have mentioned in the first definition towards database. As we have pointed out, database is an organized machine readable collection of variables. Now, that we will see what are those collection of symbols. Now, that I am creating a table with 3 different values, 3 different columns. One is called student ID, the second one is name, and the third one is course ID. So, as you might know, this is for a particular student who has to enroll for a particular course either in a center or at a university or at a college. So, this is quite well known application and is a very simple table to be constructed with. Say initially what a student knows is only this particular name database, where there are different students named starting from Kannan, and there are different courses available within that particular center or college or university, and this student has to be provided with a identification number, student ID, that has also been given. Now, that this is the basic relational theory that we are trying to provide. The fundamentals of mathematics talks more about relations, and every student is to be provided with an unique identification number. So, Kannan has got an unique identification number. Likewise, for Geeta there is a unique identification number. For every name, corresponding unique identification number is mapped, and it is needless to say one student need not register for one course ID, it can be mapped to more than one course ID. So, since this application is quite common, I am taking this as an example, and how do we read at these relations is the main thing that we are about to look at. A student S1 named Kannan is enrolled towards course CP 9050. So, now that I am trying to read it row wise, S1 is named Kannan and has registered for the course ID CP 9050. As of this case is concerned, this table is concerned, I am trying to provide every rows uniquely with the course ID. So, S1 is registered to course ID CP9050, S2 with CP9158. Likewise, every student is about to register for one particular course which is unique in this table. But then, as I have talked about, where is the concept of enrollment here? I have not defined the word enrollment anywhere in the previous table. If you look at the previous table, I have not introduced the word of enrollment here. It is all about student ID, name and course ID. But then, since it is to a particular course requires enrollment. For this reason, I am saying this course is to be enrolled. So, we have not used the word called enrolled in the column, then how are these things to be interpreted? So, now that I create a variable which is called enrollment. So, enrollment is being a table name for this particular table. So, I call the table name for this particular table as enrollment, and within enrollment student 1 named Kannan is getting enrolled to a subject called CP9050. Student 2 Geeta is enrolling to a subject CP9158. So, from this particular table with the collection of variables, I am defining every student as student S1 with where S1 is your student ID named Kannan, which is also been defined in a column, is enrolled on a course ID CP9050. Likewise, student S2 named Geeta, this is to be interpreted and read like this. So, as I have said, a database typically involves all this table structure, rows and columns, but then there has been no relation that has been defined as part of this table structure. So, a relational database is one whose symbols are organized into a collection of relations. So, wherever we are trying to combine with relations, we call them as a relational database. So, relation is a formal term used in mathematics, as I have already told you. Now that we are getting deeper into databases, where it is not just as database it is going to be maintained, it is to be maintained as a management system, where we organize and store all the information. Store and retrieval is more about management system. So, it is not just about organization and leave the application as such, but then we have to organize all the items, store, and as and when required we may have to retrieve from the database. So, we are about to define what a DBMS would mean, a piece of software for managing databases and provides access to them. A DBMS responds to commands given by application programs, custom written or general purpose programs executing on behalf of the users. So, as the user might find it interesting, whatever application programs that he wants us to use, say you go into google.com and you generally type whatever keywords that you wanted, it has already been stored in some of the servers that is available. That keyword is getting retrieved from the corresponding database and it is updated to your screen. So, that is how it is happening. So, that entire system is called a database management system, which corresponds to the commands given by an application program, custom written or general purpose, whatever it might be, executing on behalf of the users. And these database management system commands are generally written by using database language. We prefer to use SQL as one of the languages towards this database management system. SQL stands for structured query language. This SQL, we will talk about SQL also in detail. The responses of this SQL include completion code, messages and results of the queries. So, as I have already told you, management system is all about storing, managing and retrieving values. So, we talk about database management system, or we define database management system as a set of software tools that control, access, organize, store, manage, retrieve and maintain data in the database. I repeat, software tools that control, access, manage, store, manage, retrieve and maintain data in the database. So, any management system that you consider, it talks about these concepts where we store, manage, retrieve and maintain. On top of it, we control, access, organize towards database systems. And database management system typically depends on a query language. So, we will go in depth of what query languages would mean. Now, let us look at what a query means. A query is an expression that when evaluated yields some result derived from the database. So, if you look at a common search engine like Google, where we query whatever we type on the text box is generally a query. We will say what is the definition of database. Although the definition of database is what we are expecting, those are retrieved as keywords, and this is being assumed as a query within the database. So, that is what we are talking about. It is generally an expression that when evaluated yields some result. So, the results that we are expecting out of this system is a definition of database from different servers which are being stored and to retrieve the result. So, when evaluated yields some result derived from the database. DBMS supports some kind of command to evaluate a given query. The command format generally for a SQL statement will be select star from where. So, this is the general statement that we flow through with a SQL language, but then this is not the only language that is available. There are multiple languages. We talk more about SQL in this particular program. So, DBMS supports some kind of command to evaluate a given query and make the results available for access, also using DBMS commands for application programs. So, what does this DBMS do? So, DBMS can create and destroy. So, create is something like creating a new ones, and destroy is like deleting what is already been available. So, this database management system can create a new query or can create a new variable or can create a new row, column, something like that, and destroy, delete all these variables as and when needed. So, point number 2, it takes note of integrity rules. Integrity rules are something like constraints that are mapped towards the application. There are certain limit that are posed to a query when it is to be executed. Say if suppose a student can be enrolled only after joining for a particular program, say for BTech Computer Science and Engineering, after joining the program of BTech Computer Science Engineering, the student is supposed to enroll for different courses. If such is the case, the constraint that is given us after enrollment or after joining the program, the student can enroll. A constraint here is after joining the program, the system checks for whether the student has joined for the program, then only it initiates in creation of a new course. And point number 3, it takes note of authorizations, and authorization we already know, it makes you understand who are the different groups of users who can be given access with and what type of access can be given for this particular system of users. Say not all the person can be able to delete whatever they have been doing with, only certain people can delete the restrictions given for them, and certain other people can create, certain other people can utilize. Likewise, the authorizations given are clearly be distinguished when it is at the creation of database management system. Not only about creation and deletion, it also can update. So, the variables can be inserted, can be created, can be updated, can be deleted. So, these are the 4 different management or manipulation systems that can be done within the database management system, and it provides results of queries, which is basically what all users might need. So, when we talk about DBMS can insert, create, delete, update, and it has to come within the limits of integrity constraints or integrity rules, and people are clearly distinguished of what sort of authorizations given for what kind of users, and it generally provides the results of all the queries. So, whenever we talk about a database, we start with file based systems, which is not actually a relational based concept, but then it is a database system. Collection of application, file based systems are nothing but a collection of application programs that perform services for the end users. All the application programs or the services that are gotten are generally stored as reports. So, now each program defines and manages its own data. So, we will go with this particular example, a file based processing, where we have got an application called sales, we have got an application called contract, and we need to store all these files into a database. This is the symbol that we use for a database. Generally, it will be like looking like a cylinder, and these sales might have to interpret with data entry and create a report. So, whatever the user feeds in as part of the sales, those are stored as a report or with a specific file format, and these files are handled as a separate routine and creates a file definition. This is for a particular application called sales application program, and there is another concept relating to the same application, which is called contracts management, where again the data entry happens and the reports are being created. The same different file handling routine and a file definition is being handled, which takes it through a contract files. Now, when we look at how many files got created here, we have got two different files created. File 1 is about, or database 1 is about sales file, and database 2 is about contract files. When we look at sales file, I create a table name called property for rent, where it has got a list of attributes, and I create another table which is called private owner, it has got a list of attributes, and I create a third table which is called a client. These files are required to store all the database of a particular client who is not a private owner, who is a private owner, and he is letting his property for rent. So, sales file require only those components of people who are private owners and who is about to lend his property. Likewise, a contract file where the same client and property for rent, but he is for another purpose which is called lease. This is for a particular duration. So, he will take up a separate file, and for these three files or these three tables are being created for a different purpose. So, there are two different purposes under which these two database works with, which leads us to the creation of unnecessary problems, something like this. When we work on the file based system, it creates a separate file handling system, and the data are being unnecessarily being isolated, which actually leads us to each program maintains its own set of data. Users of one program may be unaware of potentially useful data held by the other programs. See, there can be some users who might be typically involved, or at the beginning they might be interested in renting their property, but then when given an option of leasing, the same owner might be interested to go with the lease also. Since these two reports are being handled separately, they may not be aware of what is happening between sales department and the contract department. So, unnecessarily these data are being isolated. Because of this isolation, a particular owner is unaware of there is been another file whose what is to be leased, and since he is aware only about a property which has been rented. So, other possibility might be duplication of data, the same data that is held with different programs. When you look at the previous application what I have shown, property for rent and client is being repeating redundant between these two applications, and only lease and the property for rent is being maintained separately. So, we have duplicated a particular data many a number of times. So, which actually leads us to a waste of space and potentially different values and or different formats for the same item. So, all that is talking towards renting, leasing a property, but then we are unnecessarily storing the client information, private owner information in separate reports. So, which is towards duplication of data. Not only that, we have data dependence also towards file based approach, where the file structure is defined in the program code itself, and not all the formats are supportable, which says incompatible file formats. Programs are written in different query languages, and so cannot be easily accessed each others as files. And fixed queries and proliferation of application programs. Programs are written to satisfy a particular functionality. Having mentioned a specific functionality, my program would satisfy only towards those functionalities, and it might not support with multiple functionalities like that. And any new requirement needs a new set of programs to be defined, and it cannot be reused. We would have talked about code reusability, and new set of codes are required to create a new application program. So, for this reason, we have gone towards a database approach rather than a file based approach, where a definition of database was embedded in application program rather than being stored separately and independently. So, whenever we store independently all this data, we have found out certain limitations. So, for this reason, we have switched into the concept of database, and no control over access and manipulation of data beyond that imposed by application programs. So, the result of which we wanted to create a database management system. So, to start with, database is nothing but a shared collection of logically related data. Having introduced the word logically, which was not existing when we talked about a file management system concepts, a file based approach never involved a logical relation between two different tables. But then when we talk about database, we are to create relations between different tables, and we start with defining sharing a collection of logically related data and a description of data. Description of data, later we might say it as a metadata, designed to meet the information needs of an organization. Every organization might require certain requirements for them to be posed, and these requirements might duplicate also, and it may be utilized for different purposes. And for these purposes, we might have to utilize all of them, and it should not be duplicated, and it should be logically related also. So, we maintain a separate system catalog which gives us a clear description of what sort of data it is, and we define that data as metadata, which provides description of data to enable programs and is maintained as a separate data. So, we call them as data independence. And logically related data comprises entities, attributes and relationships. So, this is the main concern towards why we get into the concept of database. Entities, attributes and relations are given higher set of importance, whereas with the file based approach we were not talking about all these things in detail of an organization's information. We will study about entities, attributes and relations when we talk more about database management system. And to look at how we have converted from the file based approach to a database management system approach, we look at the same sales and contract system what we have seen early, and this database system takes all the entries and stores it as report, and contracts takes entry and stores as a report, but then they find some things are quite common, like property, private owner, client seems to be quite common. So, I convert all this and store into a database management system. So, all four relations are converted, all four tables that has been stored are converted into database management system, where it is getting converted logically into relations, and A database now created with all these 4 tables, details and file definitions is the complete definition or completely created database management system. Now, we will look at the summary of what we have seen in this particular session. I have started explaining about fact, data, information, knowledge and wisdom, which stand in the hierarchy of systems. Then I have started explaining about what a database would mean and the variables that we have used on a table and different authorization integrity constraints relating to databases. And I have considered a table structure where I have given student ID, student name and course, and a particular student is willing to enroll for a particular course that requires a relationship to be defined. Then we have gone to a discrimination of how it was earlier maintained as a record based system, file based management approach, and later on converted to a database management system, and we have defined with database management system also. Thank you.